I'm your host, Pete the Tech Guy. Day 2 of DaTechGuy's Midnight Court at CPAC. Remember, you can find us at DaTechGuyblog.com, DaTechGuyblog.com, DaTechGuyblog on Twitter, DaTechGuyblog on Gab. I am the man at the moment running the microphone, running the camera, just not running away. We are going to stay here in the lobby at CPAC until people don't want to talk anymore. We still have Kid with the Lid, we still have Paris, and we have an attendee of CPAC. Sir, what's your name?
Hi, Alex Gershuni.
And Alex, where are you from?
I'm from New York.
New York. All right, now before I tell my story, and during this segment, I am going to tell the story of Samantha Bee's staff attempting to get the Tech Guy to create fake news concerning Donald Trump. But before we do that, since you have kindly sat in on the Tech Guy's Midnight Court, did you want a hat to wear, by the way? You may wear a the Tech Guy fedora during the Midnight Court.
I would be honored.
So just grab one of the hats. There are 3 there available, well, 2 available because Paris has one. Grab a hat.
Paris, I'm going to go with this one.
Going to go with the big hat. That's the largest size hat, so you're covering a little bit of the face there. All right, so how many CPACs have you been to?
This is my first CPAC.
Your very first CPAC, very first. Guys, do you remember your first CPAC? Do you remember your first CPAC? This is his first.
This is my first CPAC.
This is Paris, your first CPAC.
So you remember it.
So you remember it well. So you haven't been drinking that much.
Haven't drunk enough yet.
All right, so what made you decide to come to CPAC this year? Why is this year the year for you to come to CPAC?
Well, first of all, I'm a lifelong conservative and first-time CPACer because I happen to have scored a badge and a place to stay. So
nothing like scoring a badge and a place to stay. Actually, Paris, I should ask you the same question. What made you decide to come to CPAC this year?
It just worked out that I could come. Usually I had other things going on, or financially I couldn't do it, whatever. All the stars aligned, and here I am. I've wanted to go for years.
Sounds like the same badge and a place to stay story. All right. Now,
That's pretty much how all of us landed at CPAC.
well, that's why I'm crashing on the floor with Stacey McCain and with Emil and with Cynthia Yockey, although I'm not crashing anywhere right now because they're all sleeping and I am holding the Tech Guy's Midnight Court. Well, back to our interview over here. All right, you've been here all 3 days so far? Or?
Yes, sir. I'm here for the long haul. I love it.
Okay, what has been the big event for you that you've seen so far?
You know, if I could just say, the big event for me is to be here and talking about the things that I care about with people who also care about those things. Talking with like-minded conservatives about the things that matter to me. And it's truly a blessing to be talking with people about such important things at such an important time in our country's history.
And I'm pleased to have you talking with us here about those things at the Tech Guy's Midnight Court. Paris, what has been the highlight of CPAC for you?
The highlight of CPAC for me is all the energy. I mean, Trump's speech today, and I wasn't an early Trump train adopter or anything like that. The energy is unexpected, and I think a lot of it has to do with the things he's been able to accomplish in such a short time. But it's the energy and just being around other conservatives, right-leaning folks, and a few moderates out there too, I'm sure, but the ones that wanted to show up, see what it's all about. It's great. You're meeting all these amazing people from all over the country, and it's just awesome.
Now, Kid with Lid, obviously you're a CPAC veteran compared to me. Compared to you, I'm a CPAC rookie compared to you. What has been your highlight for CPAC this year so far?
I would say the amount of diversity I see amongst the millennial crowd is amazing. I mean, even 2 years ago, there were nil amounts. I mean, we were all at the parties, of course, because booze, but we weren't really at the convention paying attention to what the issues were. And suddenly, all these millennials are like popping their heads up like gophers all around the convention. It's like watching a bunch of meerkats in the morning, and it's awesome.
All right, what I want to ask you next, what is the event that you're looking forward to tomorrow? Is there something in particular you want to see?
Well, what I would really like to see is our good friend Kid do her honor and duty by putting on the old fedora.
All right, now.
Now we're in the game here. Now we're all in the game.
Okay, we're in full fedora mode at the Tech Guy's Midnight Court. Now, but in addition to getting Kid with Lid with one of my hats, what are you hoping to see at CPAC today?
I'm hoping to see more energized conservatives. I'm hoping to see more principled people discuss the things that matter to me and the things that matter to our country. You know, this movement is incredible, and as a first-time CPAC attendee, it's so palpable how strong the energy is and how diverse the energy is. And just looking at our fedora-clad friends, yourself included, I have to say that it's just a blessing to be here, and I truly just look forward to seeing more people like present company.
All right, Paris, since you're new, what are you looking forward to tomorrow? Well, today I should say.
It is after midnight.
It's 12:40 at the DaTechGuy's Midnight Court as we hold court here in the lobby of the Gaylord Hotel at CPAC 2017.
I'm looking for continuation of more, more camaraderie, meeting more people, that type of thing. I'm meeting new people like every hour and that type of thing. Honestly, and I'm looking forward to Reggae-Palooza. It's supposed to be a blast tomorrow night, so that's going to be the highlight, and hopefully people will take this energy and go back into the field and continue to be energized, not just go home and okay, it's over, it's done, but realize there's more work to do.
Just wait, 6 months from now, you'll hit this moment, and I think all of the veterans hit this moment where it's like, wait, where's the energy though? And you look around and you realize that like, you need another CPAC.
To keep things going.
Yep.
All right, now I'm going to ask I'll ask all of you here, since this is the question I've asked everybody. During the primaries, who was your person? And full disclosure, I was a Cruz person during the primaries. Who was your person in the primaries?
Well, full disclosure, it was sort of musical candidates. You know, there were 17 people, so if you only had one the whole time, you were probably an outlier. I didn't have one the whole time. I started with Scott Walker. I believed in him as a governor, and I believed in his free market reforms. He took on the system, and he succeeded. So
he fought the fight and won in Wisconsin, and that was a big fight.
A big fight, and it was very impressive to me as a principled conservative. His candidacy didn't work out, and then I had to go to Ted Cruz. There was no option at that point. Everything Ted Cruz believes is what I believe. You know, give or take. You know, you can't get 100% of anyone, but which brought me to Donald Trump. You can't get 100% of anyone, but if I got 80% of Donald Trump, I'll take that from anyone. So,
when did you end up going to Trump in the end? Did you vote for him in the general, and when did you decide to do so?
Well, after Cruz bowed out, there was no option left. You know, of course we had to support our candidate Donald Trump. There was no alternative, and it's not that there was no alternative as much as it was the right thing to do, to support someone who adopted the Conservative Party and who was willing to fight the way Donald Trump fights, and that is what he has shown us. He has showed us through the first month of his presidency. The media says it's in turmoil. The administration doesn't know anything. But one thing that we have learned is, well, two things we have learned. One, the media doesn't know what they're talking about. But two, is that Trump is willing to take the fight to whoever he needs to take it to. And he has showed us since the beginning of his election that he is more than willing to fight that good fight. And so I believe conservatives have to stand with him, and we all stand with President Trump.
Okay, Paris, now over to you. Who did you support during the primary season?
I considered myself politically underwhelmed. I didn't support anyone. I was really unhappy initially. I thought the field was so. They would have dug up dirt on any candidate. And I'm from Wisconsin. I didn't even support Scott Walker, although I fought tooth and nail to keep him from getting recalled when that happened. It took a while for me to come around to Trump. Ultimately, I was just kind of disappointed the way the party establishment was treating him, basically trying to do everything in their power to beat him. They didn't even give that much effort into beating Obama in 2012. So I decided, you know what, the party...
Well, it's hard to beat a guy who's given up.
Well, that's true. but ultimately, I ended up joining Trump in the Wisconsin primary in April, and kind of stuck. It was... The writing was on the wall that he was going to win the nomination. And you know what? I knew I didn't want Hillary Clinton. That was the most important thing. I was under the guise, we know Hillary is a liberal and would have had horrible policies, but we didn't know. There was that uncertainty. Nobody knew how Trump would be. Would he be conservative? Would he be liberal? And I just ended up supporting
Go ahead.
ultimately supporting Trump, and I think it's a gamble. I took a chance that maybe he'd be conservative, and so far he's doing conservative things, even though ideologically he's not a conservative. That's why the Republicans all lost. All the rest of the candidates, the career people, they lost because they tried to fight it on ideological basis. His movement was not ideological. It was strictly, we're tired of government as usual.
Okay, we're going to go to Kid with Lid, who was just giving me her phone, and there's the live stream of the witches trying to curse Trump. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish the interview with our newest person, because both of you already told me what you thought about Trump and what you want to see done. So I'm going to ask you those two questions, and then before I tell my story about what happened, we are going to do, because I am prepared, as a Catholic, I am prepared for the witches. I have the Catholic prayer of exorcism, and I'm going to pray it here on the Tech Guy's Midnight Court as soon as we're done with this interview. So, what have you liked about the Trump administration so far?
His willingness to fight, his refusal to back down.
And what is and since you've already said that, I'm going to go straight to the last question. What is the one thing during the 4 years of the first Trump term you want to see him do?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's just.
What's the most important issue for you?
What's the most important thing?
Yes.
What's the most important thing I want Trump to do? Keep his promises.
Well, so far he seems to be doing it.
Yes.
And I have a theory that it's not so much that Trump is a conservative. It's that Trump is an entrepreneur and we're the customers, and he's trying to keep the customers satisfied.
And let's take it one step further. Two things. He truly loves America. Anyone who objectively looks at him, this man wants America to be the biggest and the best. And when you couple that with his unsatiable desire to work, the man is a workaholic.
I mean, that's true. No one can say that Trump is a lazy guy.
Yeah.
Trump works very hard.
So
And I can see Kid with Lid's eyes rolling there. Throw in your comment. If you disagree, go ahead and disagree.
come on, Lid.
I got a mother who worked in property management, so I know a little bit of the inside of the Trump empire, so to speak. And yes, he works his butt off, but 66% of what he does, he could delegate and doesn't. And that's just me being perfectly honest.
No, perfectly honest is what we always strive for at the Tech Guy's Midnight Court.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And we're going to take another break. When we come back, we are going to do the Catholic exorcism prayer to counter the witches who are even now live streaming their curses on Trump. We will be right back with the Tech Guy's Midnight Court. I am Pete the Tech Guy. Half Fedora, Doctor Who stuff, and all that stuff will travel. And we will be here until people don't want us to be here anymore. And people don't want to talk to us anymore. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Why would you go anywhere while the Tech Guy's Midnight Court is in session?
Oh yeah.
Time to go bye-bye.